Listen, I have to talk about this movie because this movie kind of nails a few things that are happening right now in real life. And, dude, it's a horror movie, believe it or not. And I have to say, probably one of the best I've seen in a while. So today we're talking about the fantastic hit that is Megan. Megan, I have to say, really does really well by the toy kid or toy protecting kid topic or genre. This movie does it right, especially now, for nowadays and today's day and age where we're full of technology and we're constantly on the brink of new technology and advancing technology. This movie really does what maybe even the Chucky series that recently came out on Sci-Fi fails to do, which is connecting reality, today's day and age reality, to what could be potentially a very dangerous future. So yes, obviously we have to mention that part where this movie is none other than a female Chucky versus, the world. But it's a lot more than that. Megan really does right by this genre by literally saying, listen, this kid went through a very traumatic experience, and the only way that we can quote-unquote cure that from her is to give her a doll, except this doll is no ordinary doll. It's a robot, a very advanced robot that not only is, helping this girl kind of like heal that traumatic experience, it's also at the same time learning as it goes. So it's literally talking about AI. This movie literally talks about AI and how people are utilizing that to fill a gap in their lives. And this movie really does talk about psychology, how the brain works, how it's not always good to give kids technology early on in life because they become over dependent on that. And this movie also talks about how we need to be more connected with one another, believe it or not, because, this girl went through a traumatic experience and didn't have a whole lot of human connection. And having that connection with this doll really shifts her behavior from the beginning of the movie to then later in the movie, where you see her go through different phases. You see her being, kind of like sad to, getting better and happier. And, it really plays with your mind, because imagine if that exists, a robot that does all of these things, that gets your kid to, brush their teeth or, do certain things that they normally wouldn't do, while you are the human kind of like commanding this robot. So like, is it really worth having a middleman between you and your kid? And Megan kind of works as that sort of middleman. So it is something to analyze. This is a movie that needs a lot more analysis, because it does get you to think about those little subjects at the back of your brain. Like, is AI really that safe? Is AI learning from our ways good in any way? And this movie really does ask you those questions. Now, having said the sort of quote-unquote boring part, this movie is really good on its action. And there are some bloody scenes in this movie. Not as many as I thought it would be. I mean, this movie is more suspense than is horror, There are moments where she's, doing stuff, as in, not being a kind little doll and really killing. So this movie is one of those movies where you do see, this, doll go out there and kill some people. But in a way, it's doing it to protect this girl. And as time goes on and it learns, as Megan learns these things about this girl, she starts to utilize this sort of like, this sort of innocence that she has. The girl is vulnerable, so Megan is now utilizing her vulnerability. And that's really interesting to see, because it really does make you question that. So yeah, this movie really does open your eyes to a lot of different subjects. And it's a horror movie, and it's got action, and it's got some good music here and there. I mean, it really is a good movie. And I can't really talk a whole lot about this movie without mentioning the marketing for this movie. I mean, I think in large part, the success of this movie comes down to the marketing that was surrounding it. I mean, they got the Megan doll to show up in a lot of shows. I mean, the Megan doll was on Jimmy Fallon. The Megan doll was in the middle of football games. The Megan doll showed up, I think, in a mall or something. I mean, it showed up in a lot of places, and I feel like the promotion for this movie really brought it to the next level. I mean, if you're willing to put out, a whole lot of stuff of your movie and promote that movie in a big way, people are going to go watch it. People are going to get curious. It's the same thing with the movie Smile. I actually talk about it on this channel if you want to go there and check it out. But, yeah, the movie Smile was the same thing. Promotion is key. If you are willing to promote your movie, to go out there and actually talk about it, people more than likely are going to go watch it. And this movie was an utter success. I mean, I don't know the exact number, but I'm going to give you just a taste of how much the budget was for this movie and how much it made. I mean, that's a pretty big gap. That's a pretty big gap, if you don't mind. Like, that's insane to think about, And it shows that people want to go see movies like this that really makes you think. And this movie really does make you think about AI and thinks about, psychology and how we need to start being more interacting more with people, and not just relying on technology to just be the middleman. So yeah, I really do recommend you guys go out and watch Megan, because it's probably one of Blumhouse's best movies. And I know Blumhouse, like, maybe I would say 60% of their movies are like, okay, but the other 40% are like little golden nuggets. I mean, movies that really grip you. And, it reminds me of like The Invisible Man, or movies like, I think it was The Hunt, that came out during the pandemic. The two movies that came out during the pandemic that Blumhouse did really well. And, man, Megan is just one of those movies that makes me, like, a year from now want to revisit, because it's just that good. And it was so well received and done that they're making a sequel. I mean, look at this. Look. Like, they already announced that Megan 2.0 is coming out. Like, that's insane. That's how good this movie was. And I think it was really that good. It really was that good. So having said all of that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys watched Megan, go down in the comments down below. Tell me if you think this movie was really that good or not. Maybe you didn't like Megan. So go down in the comments, tell me about it. And while you're down there, go ahead and click the subscribe button and ring the bell, because you know that on this channel, there are videos every single day. So you want to be notified when that goes up. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.